Yeah, and we expected this. It was going to be really sore. He's got a sprain in his throwing shoulder. He landed right on it, toughed it out, played the rest of the game. Took some medicine, but we expected it to be really sore today, and we were just being, cautious with him. And we'll see where he's at tomorrow. I fully expect him to be ready to play in the game on Saturday if needed. And his, I think he'll be fine. It's just really, really sore right now, which if you've ever sprained your AC joint, that's what happens.
Is Jayden making progress?
Yeah, he looked perfectly fine today. Practiced well, went through the entire practice, made all the throws, did all the running, changing directions and all that. He looked fine.
What's that say about Joey? That sack that he found his shoulder was relatively early in the game for him to get it out.
Yes, absolutely. And you got to think about it in his mindset, too. Here he is, his chance of a lifetime. He finally gets it. And on his third play, as he gets up off the ground, he doesn't know if he's going to be able to play the rest of the day, and gets over there. And I watched him from the booth. I saw him make the practice throw, and you could just tell. And I went through that. First thought I thought of was, I remember Jared Goff got knocked out of our Stanford game his first year, as our last game of the season. It's same thing, same deal. And he got to the sideline, and he said he could go, and he couldn't go. And so that was the first thing that popped in my mind. And I just said, tell Ethan to get ready. Said a couple prayers, like I can't believe this just happened, but let's go if this is the case, and and got ready to go. But yes, to be able to tough it out, and then to be as accurate as he was, and also to stay in the pocket where he could have been hit further. Because after you get hit pretty good one time, like Jayden, it happened at Utah, man, that can get you a little skittish, man, in the pocket if you're a young kid. And he just stayed in there and made the throws, worked the pocket the rest of the day, man. It's unbelievable.
To kind of piggyback off that, too, I heard him yesterday, but as the game went on, obviously the guys responded to it, but how do you feel his command of the huddle and everybody responded to him after the first quarter was?
Oh, well, we saw that on Thursday at practice. He had a really, really good practice, and he, I think, threw one incomplete pass the entire day. The kids were cheering. And you could just tell that we were going to be in a good place mentally during the game, and it all happened on that Thursday practice.
You only gave up the one sack in the first drive. What did you think about the protection for Joey, especially because he doesn't have quite as much mobility as Jayden?
Right. Yeah, and we do some things to try to protect it and protect him schematically with some stuff. But I thought the kids bounced back really well. And I've told this several people, going into the game, and I thought Utah is the best team in our conference, like a football team, and I thought they were really good. I was more concerned about USC's athletic defense against what we do than I was Utah, and that's not taking anything away from Utah. They're really good, strong, and all that stuff. I just thought USC would give us more problems with their athleticism and how twitchy their D linemen are and how many they have. And so for us to be able to hang in there with the pass protection the way we did, man, I was super proud of our kids. Yep. Man, I would love that. And I watched that game again. We all watched it as a staff last night. And we're just different right now. We just are with where we are up front. We're still, these guys are developing, and we're just quite not as strong. We had some strong veterans up there that have played a ton of football that are gone now, and we got a bunch of young bucks. So, man, would I love to repeat that performance? Heck yeah, that would be great. But we're such a different team, and Oregon State is visibly a lot better this year on defense than they were last year, I think.
Do you credit the lack of rushing dependency to just playing from behind, or was it USC?
Yeah, there's a couple things. We didn't play from behind a lot last year, and also is you call plays off of success on things as well too, and we were handing the ball off last year in some games. We were getting 5-6 yards a carry, and it's easier to keep pumping it in there. You know what I mean? And when you run the ball on 1st and 10, and you end up 2nd and 9, you don't give up on the run game, but after you do that a couple times, you start going, man, I don't want to start 2nd and 9 anymore. I feel like I could throw a pass and at least get us to 2nd and 4 now, And so then I think our quarterbacks in certain games have gotten hot hands and just trying to ride them, when you do that. Like the Colorado game, the Washington State game, this past game, Joey was on fire. I thought Joey was going to throw for 500, 600 yards. I mean, I really did. I felt so good about him. I was so comfortable calling passes. But yeah, I mean, sometimes we get the other team stronger than us up front at times. Yes.
It's tough, but at the same time, I mean, how is it as coaches not to be, again, everything's not rainbows and unicorns getting on the guys, but to kind of keep their heads up and be like, hey, you're going to put you in that position again, make the catch.
Yeah, absolutely. And coaching receivers, the number one the worst thing that you could ever do to a receiver is somebody yell out, catch the ball. Like, do you think that kid just dropped that ball on purpose? Like, there comes a time as a coach where you got to give constructive, you got to educate them in coaching on how to get better. Okay, you dropped the ball. Why did you drop the ball? The reason why guys drop balls, they either took their eyes off of it, or their hands are too far apart, or their hands weren't in the proper position. So you pull them off to the side and go, hey, bud, hey, check this out. I looked over your hands, over to your right side, you're putting your pinkies together. Hey, man, do you like it better with your fingers, your index fingers together on the right side or the left side? Like I catch balls to the left here, this way to the right. Sometimes kids in the middle of a play, they get their hands confused. Sometimes kids' hands are too far apart and they're like this, literally, and the ball splits them before it's too late and it gets right through there. Or they're not looking the ball into it and they're looking here. And to slow everything down and go, this is why you dropped that ball. That's constructive criticism and educating them. But the last thing you want to do is yell at them, catch the ball. So you bring them off to the sideline and you talk to them about all the little details that it takes to catch a football.
When you see as the challenges in Oregon State, they have Hamlin Fire Rashid, good pass rusher, and
yes. Number 9. I think they've gotten a lot better in the secondary. They're tough. They'll hit you. In every game I've seen so far, they will come up and strike you. They play with an attitude. They'll come up. I don't know how they're going to play us in the secondary. They play teams differently according to how they feel they best match up. I don't know. But they play press coverage, and they play press coverage with outside leverage and try to funnel everybody up inside, not let you get outside and throw the fades, funnel you into the single high safety or whatever type of coverage that they have. So you got to be prepared for that going into the game. What are you going to do versus press every time the guy steps outside, on your release? You got to release inside of them, and you're going to be more apt to work inside, plays and things like that. That presents a little bit of a challenge, when you get guys playing outside leverage press. And they play like they're a lot more confident to me when I watch them play. And that's football, man. You got to go out on that field and you got to feel like you belong. And they've done a great job, both sides of the ball, because I get a chance to watch them on offense through film exchange, watching the games. And I love their offense. I love what they do, and they do a really good job there. Yeah, they got some really, really big anchor guys in there, man, that you absolutely cannot move. They're huge, and they weigh a lot. And, we got some young guys that aren't big and 200. What is Donovan's, about 278 or something crazy like that. So that's going to be a problem because you can't move them, and you got to play with leverage, and you got to run outside of them and make them run, and then loosen them up so you can run the ball inside. And so they do present a challenge up front to those two anchor guys in there. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, man, it's just like, I always refer to baseball, but I mean, it's just like guys that go through slumps in baseball, man. You got to find a way to get yourself out of it. You got to find a way to, you think more. You practice winning the game. That was the big speech I gave to the offense this morning. You practice winning the game. They're like, Coach, what does that mean? Well, here's how you practice losing the game. Go outside and practice with bad ball security. Go outside and when a ball comes to you, take your eyes and do this. If you're an offensive lineman, stop moving your feet before the whistle blows. That's practicing losing the game. If you want to win the game, you have to practice winning the game, which means you have to pay attention to all the little minute details that it takes to be great. All right? And that's stance, start, head placement. Where do I put my hands on every single play in practice? Every play is gold to your development as a human being, as a football player. And if you don't take that approach, you're just going to be average. You're just going to be average, and we'll still be talking about the same crap, next week. And so, and the kids even talked to themselves. They had a little powwow there at the end of practice and talked about the same things. Let's fix everything. All right, let's just everybody do your job, look in the mirror, and let's fix all those little details. And some of it is just, ball security, being, you got to be more detail-oriented in the things that you do.
Back to Joey, there's obviously two freshman quarterbacks. We know as a backup he's not getting a ton of snaps. We're going to touch on it, but his connection and his chemistry with, Frank and the receivers.
Yeah.
That kind of, I think you'd be surprised around him, but kind of surprised you with the limited reps that until last week that he had.
Yeah, with the limited reps, and I know people. I made a statement that he gets 0 reps in practice, and people didn't understand that and all that. With today's limited time that you have with the players, and then practice, you only have a certain amount of time. We only have a certain amount of plays. If this was Manny, yeah, we would let guys get all split. They'd get 25% of the reps, because Manny's he doesn't need as many. But Jayden is just. Heck, he's a baby. He needs every rep that he can take to go out and perform well, in the stadium. And so, during the week in practice, Joey doesn't get any. And so that's why he doesn't. But the last week, what helped Joey was the off week. Joey got all of the reps in practice, later on in practice after we did the competition stuff early in practice. And Joey would get all of those reps, so, we kind of prepared him that way. Yeah, so go ahead.
What is your assessment of what you saw out of Jayden today?
He was fine. Yeah, I was very, very pleased. I was like, okay, he's back. We did. He rolled out. He did some bootlegs. He disconnected on some run plays and ran. And I didn't see him limp, favor, or do anything. He looked 100%. And one of the things that last week I could tell the balls that he were throwing weren't as accurate as they were in the past, and you could tell because it was his base and the weight distribution on his leg and all that. And today he was accurate. He threw a ball today. It was unbelievable. But that's another story. But his accuracy was back, and he looked 100%.
And he even was getting the backup reps?
Yes, because Joey, his shoulder's still a little sore.
One other thing.
Yeah, go ahead. I only got to eat. No big deal. No, I'm just playing.
Your assessment of the running game, and
Yeah.
obviously we talked about how it's a young mind, and Eno's just got to be patient. And what have you seen from him, kind of in a behind-the-scenes role as far as dealing with the yards not coming easy like they did last year?
Yeah, and it's tough on him, and it would be tough on. It's tough on anybody because number one, Eno is like a fierce competitor, and that's what makes him good. And if you're a fierce competitor, you want the ball all the time. Some people can take that as, you got an attitude problem or things like that. No, they just know. First of all, they want to win, and they know that they can help the team win, and they just want to help the team win, right? And they want the ball, and so he's learning that it's tough on him, and it's tough on everybody because things didn't come easy last year, but it was certainly a lot easier than it is right now. And so he's having to learn, he's having to be patient, and he's having to understand how to control his passion and his emotions when it doesn't work out. And and it's a good thing that's going on for him for the development of his career and everything, because he's going to go through these things at the next level.